So I saw a Reddit post on the BT6 sub the other day that got me to rethink the question of what is actually the worst tower or tower path in the game? And why is it the top path beast? Because that was by far the most agreed upon worst tower path, according to the comments. And not gonna lie, now that I give it some thought, I'm sort of inclined to agree, partially. Maybe not necessarily about the Great White and the Orca, the tier 3 and 4, because I think those are... I can still see some use in them, but as for the Megalodon, the tier 5, now that I think about it, I don't think I've truly ever used this thing as part of a legit strategy that wasn't like some sort of gimmick. Partially mainly cost, because even after many buffs, this thing is a whopping $120,000 in hard mode, Chimps mode, once you include the cost of getting 4 Orcas up. So now I'm gonna take the Chimps mode to see if it's actually that bad, or can it be viable when we play on the more advanced maps on Chimps. We're also gonna pick the hero Corvus. Main reason being, again, if you're out of the loop, he is the best hero by far if you put any ounce of effort into him. And I feel like if we struggle in any round while saving up for the Megalodon, or even after getting Megalodon, then Corvus abilities can save us. But yeah, hopefully this Chimps run doesn't end up showing only the power of Corvus, because I still want the main showcase to be on the top path beast, so I guess I'll see right now if this defense is safe for Corvus, the 1k. As I was saying earlier, on Chimps mode, you only have about 170 to 180k to work with in the 100 rounds, meaning 2/3 of your cash has to go into that one tower. And if you just look at, again, the power ratio of that tier 5, it's just not worth it when you have to sink that much money into it. Add on to the fact that once you get really late game, the tower really falls off once it's not able to one-shot bads anymore. I think it's like round 150 or something. Sure, the round 100 insta-kill, like free win is nice, but I'm sure you could find many towers that cost 120k that could do the same thing while being more useful in other rounds, aside from just, well, said round 100. Also, damn, Corvus early game, if you haven't seen already, is just mega nutty. No spells cast, but we still save up 3,500. And because of that, please allow me to do the thing. Do the classic ISAB move, because trust me, this is worth it. 102 into 202 so that we can eventually, you know, give the Orca attack speed and make all Great White upgrades cheaper. Because we have to get 4 beast handlers to get the Megalodon, that would save us, I think, like 15,000 plus 15% discount. Yeah, that already pays itself off with the 2 upgrades down there. And then for this round, just do a 300 sub. I wanted to decamo earlier, that's why I'm not upgrading this one. Probably should have started with the sub on the top side of the map, round 6, but oops. I didn't think that far ahead, so let's start upgrading our main beast now. The thing is on high finance because there's only a small bit of water in the middle, so maybe not the best map to showcase it on, but I feel like with the water being in the middle of the map, it still should be good enough to show its viability. We got a full mana bar charge up for round 40 just in case we need it. But let's first see how much the beast center can do. So Great White slows down Moabs, which I think is the only thing stopping it from being really bottom tier. I'll just Frostbound, I think. Yep, Frostbound to freeze the ceramics, and then sure, we'll Ember and use the spear to get mana. Also, I am very stupid. You can't upgrade these beasts to a top path if they can't see water, so that's a problem. Well, that is a huge blow to our double discount dreams. I guess I'll just do another one over here. Now, I know a lot of people like to hyperanalyze sometimes, you know, my gameplay. And sometimes when I do the discount village, it's not always worth it. Like, for example, right now. Like, unless I spend tens of thousands on tier 3 or below towers in this range here, then it's actually not efficient to go for the discount village if you're taking into account the 000 cost. Because all these are going to be merged, which means I'm not going to utilize the attack speed of Jonathan, which is usually why people... Like, why discount's good. It's because you end up going for the other village pad, so getting the discount is a cherry on top. But I guess if I ever do need to drop towers down here, then possibly the discount village can end up paying off, but that remains to be seen. Making it really sketchy for these rounds here, but I guess that's where Spirit starts to fall off a little bit. And hell, yeah, Great White has been absolutely useless right now. I know it's low, like, no merge. It doesn't really help either that on auto rounds, like, the Beast Center has just terrible sight lines. It only sees one lane of the track. I think that's another big problem for the Beast Handler in general when it comes to even harder maps, is that, yes, because the tracks get shorter and more weird, and there's multiple of them, it's hard to get that perfect straight line that you need to maximize the beast stander's potential. I think we should add some secondary defense now, because I'm not gonna lie, the 40s have been painful. Usually, they are the easiest parts of any Chimps run. So I'll at minimum get Reactor, just so I can decamo instantly, and pop some Bloons for the mid-game. That ought to help. Now, can we try to go for Orca now, please? It's nice that with Great White, I should make sure the target's strong so that it just eats them up instantly. And then as for the Orca, yes, you definitely want the 64 out of 64 so that, well, at max beast handler, it can drag down ZMGs. For now, with 32 out of 64 should be okay, right? Yes, sir, yes, sir. I feel like once we get an Orca, though, at least a very high-level Orca, we shouldn't need to, like, get another support tower. In an ideal scenario, this plus Corefish should be enough to, well, again, save it for Megalodon, plus maybe a couple support tower buffs, like, for example, Mob Glue, hell, even Absolute Zero. It's always been a staple support tower in my arsenal, and I think it works, like, really well synergized with the Orca. Because, again, you group stuff, you slow stuff down, group it together so that the thrash damage actually is maximized with the Orca. I was gonna say C3 is gonna be no problem, but I lied, so I'm gonna just trample that. And hopefully it performs better for the second wave here. Please, Orca, or else. I even used a Soul Harvest ability. We're good. And now for our second Orca. 40 out of 64. Okay, with it targeting strong, that's kind of a problem. Storm? It's a problem because it's focusing on the fortifieds over the non-fortifieds, which end up being first, but that's okay. Perhaps it was a mistake going for 2 quote-unquote micro-heavy towers as our main DPS, but you get what you signed up for. Actually, what am I talking about? We have Ice at home, Snowstorm at home with the Frost on Corvus, so maybe there's a chance that we can just even avoid the Snowstorm AZ altogether. Like, at least until saving out to Megalodon. And you don't want to spend on too much more, but we pretty much have bare bones defense outside of the beast handlers. So as it stands, we should be on track to afford Megalodon by, I don't know, just quick math, maybe around 90? High power Orca has been very fun to play so far. Not gonna lie. So I definitely can't say this is the worst tower in the game, but definitely not the best either considering the price point. Because how much is this total tower gonna end up being? Like 60, 70,000? Like then I could get like a really strong tier 5, but I guess it's nice knowing that we have, what do you call it? Like a very easy build order. Stepping stones, like, to upgrade the beast handler, because we're always gaining power slowly, just in 10k increments. And now with our fourth Orca, let's merge, and there it is. We'll see how easy the save up is to Megalodon now. Surely can't be that bad, right? I have a feeling I might need that Absolute Zero, though, at least a Snowstorm, after round 80, because there's gonna be a lot of SRAMs that, I mean, if this ends up being on cooldown, that's gonna be a problem. I also will admit I've been pretty lazy with my nourishment, so this is far from the most optimal I can be. I'm probably gonna get an extra level or 2 on him if I deeply tried, but hopefully it doesn't end up coming down to that. So right now, see, without a second support tower to slow things down, I'm gonna have to just keep the Orca on first right now. There's SRAM leaking. Do I Frost? Not for 1 ceramic. Okay, thank you, Spirit, for popping the 1 ceramic. I'm probably gonna have to Frostbound here, though. Yeah, definitely for the end of rounds once things are gonna get past the Orca here. Here's actually a time where not being able to thrash is bad. Yep, I knew it. We have, what do you call it? It on cooldown right now. What do I do? Repel, I guess. Yeah. Repellers are Frost at home. Okay, now we leave it on strong for the, to kill the fortified BFBs. Hopefully we don't pop any of them with thrashing. This is where we actually, you know, it would be ideal to avoid the thrashing altogether. Well, that's alright. 82 is clean. And I think we really have to rely on the thrashing coming in clutch here. You know, I probably could also go for an overclock on the Orca. That would be good considering how expensive the tower is. And I'll probably trample. Trample doesn't one-shot at this level yet. Man, though, overclock would be so good. It would make these rounds so much easier right now, but I think I'll try to hold off. If I don't buy it, I can actually afford it before round 90, I think. But if I do get overclock, it'd have to be like, I'd have to survive like 91, 92, 93, 94 even, without the Megalodon. And ideally, it doesn't come down to that. This round's also sketch. Crap, what do I do? This is really bad. I'm gonna do something really scuffed, that a trample gone. I'll even use a fire or repel. Yep. We at least have 2 abilities that we can use while it's on cooldown. Okay, this round's really annoying with all the cerams on the right side. I think what I'll do is I'll actually retarget my beast. Also, Frost is back, come on. So many mobs here. But again, that's where Corvus is coming in clutch. You love to see it. But yeah, we gotta move Orca to the right side so that it gets the better angles. And I'm probably dead here. Unless I... No, I'm good. Had to echo there with Repel. Orca is definitely a pretty strange tower. It makes rounds like 85, 87 very, very trivial, but rounds like 84 and 83 are just much, much, much harder. 10k to go now. And if there was ever a prime round to Frost, this would be it with all these fortified Moabs. Definitely don't want you guys to get through. And now for all the mobs here, definitely use Repel. Clean. And then if anything gets by, I don't know, Fire and Spear. And hope that defends. Nice. DTs are also nice, right? Yes. Good thrash damage. I'll just Spear there. I also severely overestimated the amount of money I was going to make. If I actually got Overclock, I wouldn't be able to afford the Megalodon by, like, I don't know, 95, 96. That's a yikes. Let's try to Repel this round. I don't want to use, whatchamacallit, the Frost, because Frost is very, very useful for next round. 45 mobs coming immediately. I also have no money for Megalodon, so let's get it. And if this thing does not, like, clear out the rest of the game easy peasy, then this tower stinks. And, again, case in point, who will win? One big bad blue fishy, or a bunch of little blue pufferfish Moabs? Sheesh. I know we don't, again, have, like, support towers, but this is probably one reason why nobody seriously uses this tower. Because I still have the Micro Corvus. In fact, like, I haven't seen any improvement on it, like, compared to the Max Orca. I'm pretty sure Max Orca would do just as well. So that said, let's just cast some Corvus spells so I don't freaking die here. How about this? And this? Still super sketchy, come on. So are you in strong now, actually. That ought to do a little better. And DTs here should be a piece of cake, right? Cerams, come on. And remember what I was talking about earlier about dropping towers, extra towers in range of the discount down here, thus making it more worth it? Well, I'm gonna do just that. So as I said, definitely want at least a snowstorm. I don't think there's money for Absolute Zero this game, unfortunately. Also, how are we still leaking? Megalodon first is just not it, eh? I should definitely go for a Mob Glue as well. I don't know if I want it up here, though. Here doesn't get DDTs until they get decam mode. Pretty late, but I think it's worth it. Keeping everything up in front. And again, if this is not a free win for 95, I am disappointed. Let's see if we need to pull out the Corvus or not. Any Corvus spells? Yep, I see a lot of things leaking. I'll at least use Snowstorm first. And then I'll use Ember for the Cerams. And then I'll use Frost now. And, bruh. Like, man, I gotta ask, is it really worth going through all this effort with a Megalodon when for the same cost you just go for a big plane that, again, that will just beat every round just by you pressing autoplay and not having to worry about having some micro to survive these rounds here. Like, come on. So many random Cerams leaking. I will just trample, I think, after the last DT is done. Yep. And we should... No. Alright, no way I lose this time with 500 Corvus abilities used, right? No way. I'll even just Snowstorm for some extra insurance. And we'll Hasten Trample to do even more. And, yup. We're finally good. We're finally good. I'm sure this thing will perform a lot better once we get Overclock, but there's just no money when you have to spend 2/3 of it on this tower. Like, we look at the minimal support we have. I think that's actually more important before going for Overclock. Just so that, again, I can, like, spare some leeway here. I can actually afford Overclock in the middle 98, but let's try to beat it without it first. Just to see. I guess I could also increase the power of it, because it's only 84. But that's fine. I'll just hold on to the cash, and here we go. I'm gonna freeze immediately for that one leaking ceramic. We ate up all these UMDs already, and now it's just fortified. If anything gets through, like, fortified mobs getting through the bend, even cerams, actually, I want to slow you down, eat you up. And alright, again, very high-ranking balloon rounds. Even if it's easily dense, will not be very hard for the top path base. It's just those scattered DT rounds. Like 95. Nice. And let's finish it off once and for all, please, alright? Kill all these baby shark DDTs. If not, just Megalodon. Couple of Corvus spells, Frost again. And we are cleared. On the bright side, the game now ends at round 99, because we can just do this, and GG. Overall, 1.7 million pops on the top path beast. So let me know what you guys think about the top path beast, because after this run, yeah, I'm not convinced. This is definitely one of the weaker towers of all time. I guess that's the reason why Megalodons are extinct.